Welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast, a production from Empowering Pumps and Equipment as the voice of the pump and related equipment industry. Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 134 of the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charli Matthews, and I wanted to thank you for just showing up every week and listening to us here. I'm excited to be able to offer this podcast to you, but also just to share the story. So I'd love to hear from you at Empowering Pumps or using that hashtag Empowering Industry Podcast. Send that out, and if you mention us that way, then I'll see it. I would love to be able to say that I mastered everything, trade show season that came off without a hitch, but I am not sure how that's going to go as I'm recording this trade show whirlwind of September. But I wanted to just let you know about a couple things coming up. We have the Empowering Women Conference, which is in October. And what I've seen so far, if you haven't got your tickets by now, you're going to have to contact me directly. So go ahead and do that so that I can make sure that you are able to participate with the Empowering Women group. If you're just wanting to jump in and support us, let me know. I'm happy to figure out a way for you to do that. The other thing is that we are getting close to the end of early bird registration for Empowering Pumps and Industry Conference, or better known as EPIC 2022. And I just want you to take advantage of these opportunities of savings. And so just take a look at the show notes and go ahead and register. If you're in the Pasadena, Texas area, we'd love to see you. We'd love for you to fly in. We'd love for you to stay with us a while and really connect with the workforce and industry. Coming up in October, so I want to talk a little bit about, what. Well, I'll start with this. If you're listening to this when it comes out, we are about to have LRVS, which is both. It's a hybrid. It's having hubs, and people are watching this lubrication and reliability summit, if you will, digitally and within a team space, and they're calling it hubs. And I just really think that that's pretty neat. And I think that um, if you I think you can still participate if you want to register and log in, and just there's so much knowledge that is going to be shared on this platform. We did a knowledge series about LRVS, and so if you missed that, please take a look at empoweringpumps.com and kind of just see. There's so many different speakers from so many countries, and I just think it's amazing what they have put together over there. So that's closing out for September for us, moving into October. And I wanted to just point out our digital magazine again, which has a section in there for events to make sure that you have all the links that you need to register. But also, we are going to be supporting WEFTEC and the Operations Challenge. We are one of their partners this year, and I'm just really excited to be a part of that. We have so many different essential workers that make sure that we have clean water and we have access to that clean water. And we want to be there cheering them on, supporting them as they compete and really just, get this time together to collaborate and build that camaraderie with their team and the industry. It's so important. And we know that this developmental program that WEFTEC has put on, we understand the value of it and we wanted to support it this year. So we'll be there cheering each team on. We'll be there, cheering the teams on, but also just we want to meet you. We want to hear from you. We want to, know your story. We share stories all the time here on the podcast, and we want to be there getting to know these operators in person. So look for us there. We have a banner there. So if we're not seen in person, you might see us on a banner, but we definitely want to engage with you. You have our contacts, you have our social media handles. So please reach out to us and support the Operations Challenge there at WEFTEC this year. Love to see it be one of the biggest turnouts and people really paying attention to what's going on in the back of the room. What is that, all that noise and shouting that's going on? And that's what we're doing. We're cheering on the water industry. We're cheering on our operators who make our everyday lives better. So, speaking of everyday lives that are better, one person who has made my life better is Regina Higgins, and she was awarded Empowering Women Salesperson of the Year last year. And she just accepted this award with such energy and just beautiful smile and excitement. And it was wonderful to see. This is really what, empowering women brings to the table, and is, those connections and excitement and inspiration and learning. So we've got a lot to learn from her today, but I'll tell you a little bit more about her. She's the Eastern US Regional Sales Manager for the municipal market for Grumpus Pump Corporation out of Texas. And she surprises me because you don't normally think about this on the sales manager side, that she's also got this industrial engineering technology with mechanical product design emphasis degree from Missouri State University. And she's been in the industry for 15 years, the municipal industry. And so I just think that she's fascinating, and she really does, personify what we want our workforce to look like. Very team oriented and really focused on making sure that everybody feels included and a sense of belonging. And so I won't spoil it for you, but I do want you to know a little bit more about Regina. She writes papers. She's an author, and she is also written for WEFTEC, and she is also, helped develop and implement the National Pump School program, which I think is super cool. So that emphasis of learning and education and inclusion, that's what I get from Regina. And so I hope you enjoy this interview. And without further delay, here's your interview. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charli Matthews, and I have a wonderful guest to bring to you today. Regina, you have been just a burst of energy since you won the award at the Empowering Women event, and I'm just ready to get to know you even better. So let's start with introducing yourself to the audience.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the opportunity last year. It was so much fun. It was such a surprise. And I so look forward to coming this year too and seeing
Wonderful.
who this year's saleswoman of the year is. So a little bit about me. I work for Grumpus, and my role with Grumpus is focused on the municipal market for the eastern half of the U.S. I love the challenge of the ever-changing marketplace within the municipal business, and have been committed to the municipal market for 15 years and counting now.
So, how does one get into the municipal? Like, how do we get here? I always ask myself that, but similarly, a lot of us fall into it. But
Right.
how did you get into the industry?
Well, it kind of started as I was a little girl, I have to be honest with you. I always enjoyed watching my dad fix things. I kind of hung out with him. Um, he's quite the handyman. He built a couple of houses a year in addition to his full-time job. So I was always his helper and assistant and the kid that wanted to go hang with him for the day. Uh, so, you know, it's amazing what you grow up with and how you learn just by association.
Mhm.
And as I was in high school and kind of beginning to search degrees of my interest and what I wanted to do, my dad strongly recommended to me to consider a male dominated profession. And I'm like, that's interesting. And his words were quite wise. I didn't realize how wise they were as a teenager, but now that I'm older, um, I realize how wise they really were. He said, "You'll always be in demand if you know your stuff, and if you do a good job because you have something different to offer than others." And I thought that was really impactful for me. So, as a teenage girl who often didn't listen to her father, let me tell you, I did this time, and I chose a degree in engineering technology with emphasis in mechanical product design. So during my last semester of college, I had the opportunity to interview with Boeing and received and accepted an offer as the only female team member on that given team. So after about a dozen years working in engineering related roles, um, it just wasn't a great fit for my personality. I enjoyed the work, but I needed more socialization. So I transitioned to more technical product sales roles, and that was my true calling. So I spent some time in the water industry with HVAC, and then transitioned over to the wastewater side for a number of years. And now with Grumpus, it's a marrying of clean water and dirty water. So, but have been in sales for the bulk of my career, except for the first 12 years. So, a little bit about how I got there.
I love that, and I think it's great too because I think you're a unicorn. Really, it's just rare to find an engineer with the sales personality that you have, and I think that's such a win-win for Grumpus to be able to have you on their team. Like I said, I mean I think we've learned this within our industry, and so you're seeing those two skill sets come together. That emotional intelligence is so important these days, so we know that. And so, relationship building, I've already seen you do it, and I am curious though, just if you had to say like, why Grumpus and why do you stay there? I mean, what do you enjoy there at Grumpus?
I have to tell you, first of all, it's constantly learning and challenging and problem solving. But Grumpus is a huge company that feels like a family. They actually embrace you. And of all the places I've worked through my career, I can honestly say Grumpus is the first company that I've worked for where my gender doesn't matter, and that is so refreshing. It really is. Um, you know, uh, Between the mental stimulation and the family friendly environment and recognizing people without consideration of their gender, I can't think of a better place to work.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I think that you have a great opportunity to kind of share advice for people out there who may want to be in this industry. So, from all your learnings, I guess you could pull from either side. Just what would you tell somebody coming into this industry?
Um, you know, Listen. We were born with two ears and one mouth, so listen twice as much as you talk. Make sure when you are interfacing with team members as well as customers, fully understand their needs. Listen. Have a thirst for learning. This is a dynamic industry, and you're never going to get bored, and there's always stuff to learn. So have that thirst for learning. Always deliver on your word. That's very, very important. Be a solid communicator. Um, be friendly, strong, and determined.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I love all of that. Like I said, I mean, I was a big fan, and it's funny how just how a celebration of people comes through. And when I met you, I think that was just a wonderful experience that we had. But on the work side, I'm just curious about like what's your day to day? Like, what kind of projects do you work on? Can you tell us anything about something you've worked on recently, or one of your favorite projects?
You know, um, there's so many. I have to be honest with you. I had the privilege and honor now of managing the eastern half of the U.S. for Grundfos in the municipal business segment. So I have a team beneath me, and it's really fun to develop the strengths of individuals.
Mhm.
And I truly am a team environment focused in person. We will get further together. Everybody on the team brings something new to the table and has a strength, and we bounce things off of each other. None of us have to know everything. So it's a really collaborative environment. A specific thing that I think I'm really proud of is um, meeting with customers, listening to their needs and learning their objectives, then determine that solution. One of the things that I'm most proud of is we were working diligently with one of our manufacturer's rep on calling on a particular engineering firm. After several years of educating them on the features and benefits of Grumpus and our multiple product offerings that are in our portfolio, we were successful in receiving the opportunity to be named the named manufacturer for all new projects moving forward. So that was quite an honor. And recently, we were successful in securing our first multi-pump station order from our efforts, and we've got more coming. So that's really, really fun. Not only just one there, but when you cover the eastern half of the U.S. and you have these accomplishments within each territory, it really is thrilling. Never
Yeah.
gets old.
Yeah, anything with water for me, I can talk about it anytime. I love that the products are out there, and the support and collaboration that you do as a community is really strong as well. I was talking with one of your coworkers the other day about the Walk for Water, and I mean, it changed my life. So just participating in that, and some of the times we just have to do that. We have to. Um, create something so people can participate in it and understand how big, and for this case, how big water is in our daily lives should be a no-brainer, but it isn't. It needs a
Not in
reminder.
this
So
country.
no. So one thing that I did want to talk to you about, because you've kind of, been in both sides of engineering and sales. As a woman in a male-dominated space, like you said, what has it been like? Any just from your perspective, I mean, I think everybody has a different view on this, but you're definitely a strong woman here, a successful role model, whether you want to be or not. That's how it works. And, I'm just curious, what do you think?
Working as a woman or a saleswoman in the pump industry or any technical product industry can be challenging and it can be rewarding. Hands down, Grundfos has been the best organization that I've worked for during my career. I think I said that a little bit earlier. Um, it's not my gender doesn't put me at a disadvantage, and it is so fun to be in 2022 and see how that has evolved from the mid 80s, the late 80s to now. And it's very empowering for young professionals and exciting to see. This means the world to me. And honestly, it makes all the little bumps in the road in the mid 80s and upper 80s and some of the 90s that were encountered along the way a whole lot less painful and far less significant. So
Yeah, I
um,
think I think so. I think when you can recruit people into an industry that is working and moving in the right direction, that it really does make it a joy to come to work. I love to talk about empowering women in industry, because it feels like, okay, this will never be solved, but it's something I can get up and work on every single day. So I think, similarly to having a mission around providing, good, clean drinking water for everyone. Uh, Also, empowerment and development of teams that feel like you do, included, and a sense of belonging. I think it's phenomenal. So, thanks for sharing your story with us. I'm curious if you have any kind of last advice you'd like to offer to just another person coming into the industry.
I think probably the best advice I could give someone is start each day with a growth mindset.
Mhm.
Every day's a new day. Start fresh. Start with a growth mindset.
That's great. Okay, a little rapid fire. This would be your favorite book.
Favorite book. I'm actually reading a book on communication right now. Let me see if I'll have to look at the title on my phone. But I'm really totally enjoying it. Crucial Conversations.
Yeah.
Um, and what I love most about the book is it applies to every single facet of your life. Your relationship with your coworkers, your relationship with your management team, your relationship with adjacent departments, with your spouse, with your siblings, with your adult children that sometimes you really kind of don't want them to be adults and are having trouble accepting that. Um, it's an amazing book. That's my favorite.
Awesome. What about music? Do you have a favorite song,
Uh,
band, So I think
Um,
songs are too hard. I think the favorite band.
no, actually, probably one of my favorite songs, and okay, this is nobody's even probably gonna know this, uh, but for some reason, it's a Louis Armstrong song, and I always get the title wrong. Wonderful Life, Wonderful World.
I love it. So, um, if you could kind of think back on the advice that you've received, what would you think one of the best, most impactful, advice that you've received personally?
Um, the ability to say no is the difference between someone moderately successful and hugely successful.
Wow. You heard it here, y'all. That is really, really impactful for sure. Well, Regina, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you in New Orleans at the Empowering Women in Industry event and at WEFTEC. It's the same week. Y'all stick around one more day and spend it with the Empowering Women team. And so look forward to just seeing you and getting to connect with you in person. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
This brings us to the end of the show. Thanks for listening, everybody. Look forward to seeing you at one of these trade shows this year. And if not, mention us on social media. I'd love to connect with you there. Do us a favor, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Give us 5 stars. That would make me super happy. And you can always reach out to us on social media using that hashtag Empowering Industry Podcast or mentioning us at Empowering Pumps. So we'll be back next week with another new episode of the Empowering Industry Podcast. So until then, be empowering.